Hey, folks, welcome. It's Monday, January 20th. It's the day of the inauguration of Donald J. Trump as the 47th President of the United States. And for all you media pundits and all you politicians that are out there that are on the Canadian side of the board, you guys just got played except for Danielle Smith trying to pump up the rhetorics for patriotism. We must fight to slap us with tariffs because he said so. Today came, folks, and there are no tariffs announced on Canada today. People have to remember a couple of things about Donald Trump is that he may still be, but from what I remember, back in the early days of the 2000s, and what I've been told and read, is that he, along with the other Kennedy, the one that died in the tragic plane crash before Hillary took the throne of New York as a governor or a senator. I can't remember which. It don't matter. But the fact is that Trump and this Kennedy, that was a pilot, played a lot of chess. You know, it's for all the persona that that man is, orange man bad, the, whatever you want to call him. He is a skillful negotiator, and time again, he kind of shines. And, I mean, seriously, it's like, it's just the way it is. The media and everything else. I'm no big fan of Orange Man. I mean, I'm not really. The guy is bombastic. He says a lot of things. But at the same time, I'm also excited that he's back being the president of the United States because I truly believe the man does want to make America better. Really? Who knows? It don't matter. What matters is that the people that were in the White House are leaving. Sadly, there's still a deep state thing, or whatever you want to call it. Now, for all the stuff that's been going on and said, and I know since 2015 till today, so basically all 10 years, that Donald Trump has been a character assassination after character assassination and the lawfare and everything else. I mean, you look at the pardon list, January 6th, Anthony Fauci, the whole entire Biden family, right? I mean, you go back to Fossey's pardon. It's dated to 2014 till present. If you're not guilty of a crime, you don't need a pardon. You don't. And even if he is granted a pardon federally, just like the great state of Florida is looking into charging Fossey and others with crimes against humanity in the state of Florida. So, yes, he's got a federal pardon, but he still has to deal with the state issue, right? And also, everybody's all Fossey. There's more than just Fossey, folks. There's the other guy, I think his name is Collins, who resigned. Remember the guy playing the guitar? That was weird. His signing off from the National Institute of Health or whatever it is. Don't quote me, folks. Remember, I'm a dude in a housecoat, and I'm just here to have funsies and have a conversation with you. Please read. Look up stuff yourself. I mean, I can do all the fancy things to show you the bars and graphs and everything else, but it's up to you to look. And there's plenty of people out there that are doing that kind of stuff. And I highly recommend to go check out those people that love the bars and graphs and everything else. Eventually I'll get there maybe. But at the point as it is, the pardons. Yes, the whole entire family of Biden. Joe Biden's brother was a lawyer, and the access to information stuff all went through him. Every pardon, I bet you, is going through his brother's law firm. Over 7,500 pardons, folks, from Joseph R. Biden. 7,500 pardons. If my memory serves, when I just looked a little earlier ago, that's 7,000 more almost, I think, than Donald Trump. Maybe 5,000 more, but definitely Donald Trump is a lot less. Donald Trump's pardons were less than Obama's. And yet, the media makes it like he's the bad man, right? Yes, he's got mean words. Yes, he's have been divorced. Yes, he's been bankrupt. But when you dig into these stories that the media tells you, and you read more than the sound bites they give you realize the bankruptcies were, in some of the cases, just restructuring of a company that they just purchased. There are other business ventures that they've tried and failed. Sure, the university thing, and a host of other stuff. Yes, but he's a businessman trying to make money. That's what his goal is to make money. And he's doing it quite well. He's at the ups and he's at the downs. But he plays chess, folks. And our Canadian government, now that I'm done with the pardon bit, there's more to stuff. But anyway, he played our elected leaders in Canada as fools, trying to get Canada to rally around against bad man Trump. It is so funny to witness this. Doug Ford, saying we're not going to, have American liquor on our shelves if the tariff goes through today. Jagmeet Singh barking off after the fact. He might have said this before, but I saw the video after the inauguration video. Maybe I'm late. I hope he's not late. Let's say I'm late, but if he was late, you didn't listen to the inauguration at all. You're just hoping that the Canadian public that you cater to or preach to, Jagmeet, and that they didn't notice what you did, which is basically lie again and try and be the hero and the man that's going to save people. Jagmeet, just go. You are not worth our time anymore. You've proven it time and time again. You're not out there for anybody but Justin Trudeau and whatever you learned at the Young Global Leaders Summit back in the day when you were a young wuffer, the World Economic Forum Young Global Leaders Program, which, folks, includes Macron, Macron's root, I think, from Denmark, in it. Kieran Starner's, I think, is in it. Sonic from the Britain was in it. All sorts of stuff. All this rougher stuff. But just like Jagmeet Singh, I know I'm kind of going on a side quest here, but it's all related. All those names that I just mentioned, Jagmeet Singh, Justin Trudeau, Chrystia Freeland, they're all under the umbrella of the World Economic Forum. And I know, like Chrystia Freeland was a board member of the World Economic Forum, claims she's renounced all her roles after all this time in politics under their banner. Remember, Chrystia Freeland wrote a book for George Soros called The Plutocracy. In fact, I wouldn't say it was for George Soros. I think she actually was against George Soros. I'd have to read the book in memory and whatnot, but I have to read the book. I haven't yet. I'd like to. But she wrote a book for him, and then after that, they became friends, and then now she's in politics. Our World Economic Forum board member, author, writing, deputy prime minister, finance minister, resigned now, of course. But after 9 years of her failing, and now she's trying to turn the script and say, we're going to fight Trump. She has egg on her face today, just like all the other politicians, like watching Justin Trudeau with his Council of Trade Relations with the United States, Rachel Notley, the former NDP leader of Alberta. I have one question about this council. What's it costing me? What's it costing us? Because these people sitting on the council board are getting paid, they're getting a stipend per day, and the travel expenses paid, and a whole host of other things, right? Oh, disgusting. But yes, folks, today, Inauguration Day, January 20th, where the Canadian media, our politicians, from David, it's a hobby, Evie, take the job seriously, Dave. You're screwing us BCers over. And where's the $1,000, by the way, that you promised? I didn't vote for you. I'm in John Rustad's writing, and a shout out to John Boy. I voted for you. Hopefully things will improve for BC. And, side quest here again, the election stuff get straightened out. And if there was shenanigans, And if there was charlatans playing around with BC's election results and falsifying or forging people to vote, I hope you have a cold, dark cell. This is democracy, and it needs to be preserved, and it needs to be innocent and pure. That's the words I'm going to use because your vote is an innocence of yourself to delegate authority to another person on your behalf. I mean, it's a strange way I'm putting it. And I hope you guys understand that. But yes, our politicians are a joke. Same with the MLA out of Northern Ontario, Angus or whatever his name is. Getting a chance to speak on Midas Touch or whatever out of the States, a left wing Democratic newsroom, whom I try to watch, but it's very, very hard to watch them butcher speeches that I heard earlier in the whole context. And then they try and manipulate the speech by splicing it or only letting you hear certain words or phrases, right? I hate that. If you can't get a good story or a good argument your way, don't manipulate it so that it'll work for you because it backfires. Case in point, let's just, I'm rambling, yes, and all that. And I really do want to get better and, more focused, whatever. But anyway, another thing is that as I speak and what I've spoken on and talking about the issues that I just said, people's impressions and everything else like that. You look at Jack Smith and the case against Trump for all the so-called documents. You remember seeing a picture of the bank file folder boxes, and then you had a bunch of paper spread out with the word top secret on them. The top secret parts, folks, was all staged, unfortunately, because they admitted it. Jack Smith and his legal team admitted it, that they made the photo appear the way it did to try and give it some more oomph or clarity or, psyop, whatever word you want to use. It was a big, bald faced lie and it blew up in their face. Why do you think Trump has survived so long? Well, I'll give you one big reason why Trump has survived so long. It's because he's got money. If it was me or you, we would be in jail, thrown away, lock and key, never to be heard from again. Kind of like Tony Robertson out of the UK, currently in solitary confinement. Love him or hate him, after reading a brief blurb by Pat King, even though he's not allowed on social media, somebody else posted what Pat King wanted to say. And he apologizing to the people of Ottawa for the grief and hardship may have faced. But he also pointed out the grief and hardship that the government has put him on, the so-called solitary confinement for many, many days on end, with the lights on 24/7 and the guards pounding on his doors every hour or so. If you haven't read the Pat King letter that's kind of out there, I highly recommend you find it. I know he's not supposed to be on social media, but somebody else put it out there. And Pat, positive vibes to you. Love you or hate you. I love you. I think you did an awesome thing, despite, what the government and media has said about you. Thankfully, there's money online and also my opportunity and your opportunity as people to really go find the truth. If you just listen to CBC, you know in your heart, so to speak, that Pat King was a bad man because the media portrayed it that way. But in fact, Pat King is a decent individual. And I like the word decent because I really don't know Pat King, but he didn't hurt anybody in Ottawa. He never forced anybody to do anything. And he always stood front and center in a way and, led the role, did the part, whatever. And it was needed. That trucker convoy was needed for Canada. It was needed for the world because it set off a storm of protests all over the globe, whether it was farmers, fishermen, whatever. It's just what it is. And Pat King is a decent person, and he did not deserve the lawfare that was extended to him by our kind government. And I'm being sarcastic. Yes, there's other names, Tamara Lynch. There's also Chris Barber. There's Jeremy McKenzie. He has no charges against him. The Mr. Leader of the Egg alone, Philip the Goat. And there's a sticker there. You know what? I like him. He's a decent fellow. I don't always agree with him, but he is honest in my opinion. He is heartfelt. He is outspoken. And yes, he is the guy that's ripping off the band-aid of Canada to expose the many problems in the way that we as a country are going through. Uh, for example, let's just talk about Brampton. 90,000 people moved into Brampton, Ontario last year. 90,000. I think that's the population of Lethbridge, Alberta. It's huge. I mean, it's like the whole area town of Prince George City. Boom, overnight, right? But a year, whatever, right? And the demographics changing. The people allowed into this country are not the same caliber of people that we used to bring in. Now we are allowing lower IQ, uh, criminals, everything else, all in the name of diversity is our strength. It is not our strength. Our strength as Canadians was being decent to each other and growing together and just being decent. That's that's just me. I grew up in Lethbridge, Alberta, the Crow's Pass, moved up to the northern BC, and all I can tell you is that I am happy for the people I've met. The Sikhs and the Hindus growing up in the high schools, yes, they were different. Yes, they had their turbans and a few other things, but they were coming here for a better life. The majority of them never really had much problems, really, and they never really did do anything to us. I mean, they just wanted to live here, and I didn't mind them. Now, today, with the influx of immigration that we have in our country that is oversaturating everything, it's an example with Brampton, 90,000 people in a year. The size of Prince George and larger just expanded around Brampton. I mean, which way can they grow? Up? That's it. They're going to have to start digging down and having basement under basement. Right? It's insane. Yes, this video is a little longer, and I have been rambling. Yes, I have been. But anyways, folks, it's been a few days, and I'm trying to, enjoy, hopefully enjoy doing this. And I do enjoy this, and I hope you enjoyed listening and such. And it's not a very good episode in my mind, but I really wanted to get out there and talk about the inauguration, Trump, 4D chess, and the games that was played, and how the Canadian government looks like fools. And yes, our Canadian government does look like fools and all that. But positive vibes to all you people. I want you all to have a wonderful day. And if you haven't visited an SPCA, please go and visit one. If you don't have a pet, you don't have to get a pet, but go walk the aisle. Maybe there's a fur ball for you. You can take them home or not, but go pay them a visit. There is an animal out there for you. Thank you and goodbye.